Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Aquatech Stadium. We're down here at the Jack Colvin Park, home of the mighty Te Atatu Roosters, and we're in round 8 for the SAS Fox. Joining me sideline is the head coach, Rev O'Neill. Rev, got a couple of questions for you here today, mate. How you feeling?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yeah, looking forward to it, actually.
Mate, off the back of last week's game against Mangere, what's the vibe like inside the team, inside the club?
The vibe's been good all the way through. Like after last year with what we've done, and we just continue that on. I think you have to, otherwise you get down in the dumps. You know, we just got to stay positive all the time. And last week, yeah, that was a great boost for us. Gave us a bit of breathing space, so we'll see what we can do today.
Cool. And the game's the reserve match on behind us here. Mount Albert seem to be putting a wee bit of Te Atatu under pressure. Mate, as head coach, what are the key learnings for you this year being in the SAS Fox?
Oh, I think there's a completely different standard, you know, like we did really well in Sharman, and at the end of the day that really counts for nothing. When you get here, it's a completely different level, so it's taken us a while to adjust to it, and we're still adjusting. Injuries have been a big part, of course, but we'll get there eventually, you know. We're just working hard at it.
And to today's match, mate, have you got the roster of players? You know, who's going to be your strike weapon today up against the Mount Albert Lions?
Oh, I think we play across the field, you know. We don't try and rely on one person. If we did, you know, we're sort of in trouble there. But yeah, like I say, you know, losing those boys that we lost from last year, and we're just trying to get our back line right, and our forwards seem to be going all right, so once we can gel together, we'll be okay, mate.
In regards to where the club is sitting, you know, the team on the ladder at this point in time, you know, we've touched briefly on the Mangere East game. Are you happy with where the club is on the ladder in the SAS Fox at the moment?
Oh, you're probably never happy, but our aim, and this is what we've got to be careful of when you come here, it's not about winning the thing, it's about staying there first of all. You know, it took us 2 years to get here. We went to a grand final and lost, and we won the second one luckily, but now we're here, we want to stay here, and we've just got to keep improving every week, mate.
Now, turning our attention to today's main game, how are we going to beat the Mount Albert Lions?
Oh, I don't know. I think we just got to give the shot, really, you know. Like, obviously, we're new boys on the block. We're down the table, you know. They've been up there for most of the last 5 years or so, but we just want to go and give the shot and give it a crack, and let's just see how we go, you know.
Awesome, mate. Well, look, on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, congratulations, you know, for your performance so far through the season, and more importantly, best of luck for today. New Steeden ball here for today's match, mate, so that'll get you ready for today's kick-off, and any final words to the supporters?
No, we're just, I'm glad that this is going out to everyone around the world, because we have got a lot of supporters, especially from the Roosters in Australia, and all over the place, and in the islands as well, so they'll get to see the boys play at last, you know. I think last year they got to see the grand final, and that was it, so hopefully we can do them proud, and you know, we just want to do our best today, and especially up against Mount Albert.
Thank you very much, Rip. Cheers, mate. I'm going to hand over to Corey Rosser, who's with the head coach from Mount Albert Lions, and we'll catch up with their team chat for today.
Yeah, thank you, Troy, and we are joined by the one of the head coaches of the Glass Project's Mount Albert Lions, Cody Walker. Cody, the first one, I guess, yourself and Phil Gordon, a late call-up after Willie Swan was unable to head coach the team this year. How's life in the top seat?
Yeah, it's not too bad, mate. I think the transition was pretty seamless because I was the assistant coach already, and Phil was the head coach of reserves. So, you know, we were around the group from the get-go. So, yeah, I mean, Willie had a few other commitments to attend to, and you know, but you know, he planted the seed for us, so it was quite easy for us with the transition.
You've obviously both come through the reserve system and done some stuff with age group sides as well. What's the main kind of difference coaching a Fox team to any other team you've coached so far?
Yeah, I think the one thing I've learned is you can tell it how it is to the Premier boys, and they get an understanding. You know, you don't need to put icing on it. You know, it's quite blunt sometimes, but they react to it, and it's good.
A couple of losses in the last few weeks, but you come off a hard-fought win against Richmond. Are we pretty happy with that performance? It's possibly an ideal kind of lead into it, what is going to be a tough game today?
Yeah, look, I mean, last week we've been talking about having a complete performance for 80 minutes, and against Richmond, that's exactly what it was. It was we scored right on the 79th minute. So for the boys to give themselves an opportunity to do that, perfect. So you know, we just got to build on that with Te Atatu today.
You're without a couple of your big name players, Aidan Ackland and Nala Palavi, both on Warriors duty. How much does the game plan change when those guys are out?
Oh, not too much. I mean, you know, they've they've been around trainings, you know, quite regularly, but game-wise, I mean, Aiden's only jumped out for us 3 times this year, and Nella's only come in for the 1 game against Point Chev. So, you know, they're at high honours, and that's what we push. But, you know, we don't lose too much in regards to them.
What gets the job done today against the Roosters? They're obviously going to be pretty high on confidence. They got their first win last week. You know, where's the game going to be won?
Yeah, Te Atatu's going to be a team that is going to probably flex their muscles. You know, they're out of the Shaman, fresh out of the Shaman, been promoted up this year, and you know, being Mount Albert, I guess we get their best game. They want to test themselves, and I think for us, we've just got to stay in the arm wrestle. They're going to be strong, and as long as we're completing sets and doing the best we can do and control what we control, we'll put ourselves in a good position.
And just finally, you've had a couple of guys really stand up this year. I think Joseph Price has probably been one of your better players this year. What's JP bringing to the team?
Oh, JP brings man, he's one of those guys that you want to play with. His work ethic at trainings and on the games is very good. High quality footballer. You know, he came from Warriors 20s last year, and he's played higher honours as a young fella. You know, you've got to remember I think he's only 21. So for the head that he's got on those shoulders, he's well beyond his years, and you know, he's blending in with the Mount Albert culture really good.
And that wraps us up for our pre-match interviews. We'll now present you on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League with your Steeden match ball for today, Cody, and all the best.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers, Corey.
Now I'll throw back to Troy, who's going to have a quick chat to the chairman here at the Te Atatu Roosters before we run you through your team list for today's SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match.
Thanks, Corey. Look, if you've just joined us, we're coming live courtesy of our CTAS live stream partners. My name's Troy Hardy with the Auckland Rugby League, and I'm standing alongside Brian O'Shea, who's a fine, fit, young-looking man. And Brian, you know, it's a special day for Te Atatu Roosters, and it's a real awesome day to be down here. The park's looking fantastic. What does it mean for you and the club to be back in the SAS Fox Memorial?
It means a lot, Troy. We've battled hard in the last couple of years to get out of Shaman. Achieved that last year, and to be in the Fox is a real achievement for the club. You know, the Fox is the top grade, you know, the best football in the country, and to have our boys competing at that level is just fantastic.
Awesome, mate. Look, one of the questions I did want to ask you is one of the stalwarts of the club, Stephen Quids. You know, he's played for the club, he's held many roles inside the club, he's played with Dennis Williams and what have you. What does that man mean to you and to the Te Atatu Roosters?
Oh, Quids, like many legions of the club, he's respected as a real legend of the club. Not only has he played, he's coached, he's been an administrator, and he's currently the president of the club, and he's just one of those grassroots people that just loves the game and does everything he can for the club. He's a great man.
Awesome, mate. Look, also in regards to the club, you guys got a great vibe going on down here coming off the back of last week's win. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening tonight in the club here at the Roosters? Well,
it's a fairly normal home game day today for us today. We always have our kids up at the club at 5:30 for prize giving. The club just pumps when they're all there. The bistro is always open, so you always get a good meal. We'll have DJ Pucks in the house tonight, running some vibes for the boys, so it'll be good after we have a good win.
Awesome. I hope to get to see you bust some moves up there. And look, being chairman of the club, you know, and as Rebel alluded to earlier today, you know, there's been a lot of growth and a lot of wins being put on the board for Te Atatu. What's the key focus for you now as the chairman of the club for this season?
On the playing side, it's just to support Revel and his team. He's got a great management team with him, not just him. There's the reserve grade management team as well. Just support that group of management to do whatever they need to do to get us in the top level of football. On the club side, you know, we've had tremendous support from the philanthropic. We've had the trust put some money in to repaint the club. That's going to be fantastic. We've got support to put the new roof on this year, so the club is going to look good, not only be a place where people can come and enjoy, but look good as well.
Awesome, mate. And just on that, you know, when we talk about support and sponsors, tell us a bit about your sponsors and who you've got backing you.
Yeah, well, we've had our main sponsor is Technic Pools. They're Brian Hoffman and his crew. They've been great supporters of the club for the last 3 years, and he's just a fantastic supporter of the club. Plus, we sell advertising around the ground, so we've got placemakers on board. We've got Barfoot and Thompson. We've got Foundation New Zealand, which is a finance brokering company. So yeah, no, it's just not possible without those people supporting the club and supporting the team. It's great.
Be fair to say too, on the motorway wall down here, you probably got maybe a few more spots that could be secured before sponsorship.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just give us a bell.
Awesome, mate. Look, and last question for you today, Brian. I know it's a big day. Is for you, the committee, and all of the members, and and the fans and what have you of the Te Atatu Roosters, not just here but around the world. Yeah. Is how happy are you with where the boys are on the ladder at the moment?
Oh, we're very happy, mate. You know, we got a good win last week, and you know, our focus is to be competitive in the Fox this year and to stay in the Fox, and then we build from there.
Cool, mate. Last question. Have you got any money on the other match that's being played today in the SAS Fox with Mangere East and Northcote?
Well, we're hoping Northcote pull it off, because that just gives us that little bit of a gap between that last place team, Mangere. But, you know, good luck to both of them.
Awesome, man. On behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, congratulations for your performance so far this season, and best of luck for the rest of the year, mate.
Yeah,
cheers. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us down here live at the Te Atatu home ground, the Aquatechnics Stadium, and very shortly we're going to move to the players list for the day, and I'm going to throw back to Corey, and he's going to talk to you in regards to who's going to be on the main ground for our kick-off today, round 8 of the SAS Fox Memorial. Te Atatu up against Mount Albert Lions. Corey.
Thank you, Troy, and great to hear from Brian there a little bit about the Te Atatu Roosters, a club who have achieved a lot over the last few years, in particular on the field, obviously, with getting promoted into the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, and also off the field at the grounds here. They've made some fantastic developments in terms of got the big net up the side of the motorway there for safety, and a new little grandstand here. So some excellent stuff going on down here at Jack Colvin Park with the support of Aquatechnics. And great to see the Roosters back in the top flight, of course. They are a famed club of years gone by, brought through a lot of very famous players, probably most notably Dennis Williams and a number of other former Kiwi internationals. So shapes as an interesting encounter today. The Mount Albert Lions, of course, a perennial heavyweight in the Fox Memorial Premiership, the Auckland First Division. And the Roosters up for the first time this year. So we're going to run you through the team lists who will take the field today, with kick-off about 15 minutes away out here in West Auckland, as the reserve game continues on in the background here. And we've got Mount Albert now holding a pretty commanding lead in the reserve clash over the Roosters, and a few famous faces on display in this Roosters team in reserve grade as well. We've got Thomas Arvan, brother of Patrick Arvan, of course, who's playing over for Widnes in the Super League. So good to see those boys coming back and giving back to their local club. As the teams pop up now, and we'll run you through them, starting with the home side, the Aquatechnics Te Atatu Roosters, and at the back it's the Philippine international John Nicodemus in the number 1. The wingers are Jerry Moore and Taylor Herbert. In the centres, Edward Vaiu Molitalo and Cedric Suifua. The halves are Zensi Inu and the captain, Kyle Neal. Of course, Kyle, the son of coach Revel Neal, been playing at this club for a few seasons now, came up with Revel from the Newland Stags, and certainly one of the top playmakers in this competition. Really dominated in the Sharman Cup last year as well. Up front, the big boys in the number 8, Stuart Preuss and Salah Falilua Malio in the number 10. His brother Johnny will play hooker in the number 9 jersey, both Custom Boys products, local boys here at the Roosters. In the back row, Jeremy Thomas, Dylan Murray, and locking the scrum, Cale Johnson. On the bench for the Roosters, Daniel Friedman, Eric Golding, Paya Chu, and Lucky Javier, who will be wearing the number 22. So a couple of little changes to the team that is appearing on screen there, with a couple of jersey swaps, as we move on to the Glass Project's Mount Albert Lions. And at the back, Cortez Talu. The wingers are Mark Graham and Jordan Tua. The centres, Chaz Brown and Corey Sita. And in the halves, Henry Dunn, of course, played for Papakura over the last few years. He joins Trent Wallace in the halves for the Lions. And up front, he's named on the bench initially, but he is going to start. Simone Makahili is going to start in the number 18, which will mean Kitty Passini drops back to the bench, or Andrew Bob drops back to the bench, my apologies. Marcus Fraser, the captain, is the number 9, with Passini in the 15. Jared Tour is the 11, 12, Dion Snell, former Auckland Rugby League Player of the Year, and locking the scrum, Joseph Price. And on the bench, David Hardy, Tony Ulupuau, and Rory Rapati, and of course Andrew Bob joining that one as well, a late scratching from the starting side. So those are your starting teams, ladies and gentlemen, as we count down towards kickoff here in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Round 8 clash between the Mount Albert Lions and Te Atatu Roosters. And Troy, a lovely day for footy. There's not much breeze around, probably I guess a polar opposite to what we got last week in Otahu with the pouring rain and wind, so a good day for footy, should see plenty of points.
Fantastic day, and it's a grouse ground. You know, Te Atatu Roosters should be very, very proud of the Aquatechnics Stadium. The condition of the field is in perfect shape, and the reserve game out there, you know, these guys have been throwing the ball around and actually been having an entertaining game of football. So yes, I agree, as that game sort of comes to an end, Te Atatu reserves there just going down with a strong performance from the, I suppose, the depth that Mount Albert Lions have, as the top teams are sort of warming up now, getting ready to take the field. Just having a look around the SAS Fox, some of the results from last week's games. There were some exciting matches that were done. Let's go to the first one there, the Papakura Prems. Papakura Sea Eagles going down 18 points to 20 to Northcote. So Northcote obviously, you know, turned on a bit of magic over there, and that was at the Birkenhead War Memorial. In regards to the game in Grey Lynn, Richmond Bulldogs had a hit out against Mount Albert. It was a tight match. Mount Albert took that game 14 points to 8. So Richmond looking very strong, you know, this part of the season. Over to the Howick Hornets match up against the Marist Saints. Howick Hornets took that match out 24-14, and that had a big impact for them on the ladder, and we'll talk to that in a sec. One of the other big clashes on the day, which I believe was a Root Rooster match, the Conakry-Minolta Root Rooster, was up against Point Chevalier Pirates and the Glenora Bears. Glenora Bears took that game out 28 points to 20, and as the guys have sort of alluded to today, the Te Atatu crew, both the coach and the chairman, they went up against the Mangere East Hawks, and Te Atatu won that game 28 points to 22. Just having a look at the ladder and how that shapes up. Corey, you might want to run us through that for us.
Yeah, well, at the top, and it's, you know, I dare say a little bit of a surprise given the results we've had over the last few years. The Howick Hornets doing really well at the very top of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder on 12 points. They're ahead on points difference from the Point Chevalier Pirates. 2 points behind in third place, the Mount Albert Lions and Glenora Bears running out the top 4 at this stage. The reigning premiers, Papakura, probably a little bit lower than we would have expected, and followed by the Marist Saints, Richmond Bulldogs, Northcote and Te Atatu, who both have 3 points by way of a win and a draw so far. And at the bottom, the Mangere East Hawks. And, you know, Troy, we're going to mention in a minute the upcoming games, but a massive game today between the Mangere East Hawks and Northcote Tigers. I guess the consequences of that one, a loss there, makes it really hard for Mangere East to come back into it, so that's going to be a huge clash, I think, out at the Birkenhead War Memorial. Yeah,
and I think there was massive consequences that happened at the end of the Te Atatu game last week. If our source of information is correct, I'm to understand that Rob, the head coach there, has moved on, and you know, we wish the Mangere East Hawks all the best today, but I know that they'll be doing it tough at home against the Northcote Tigers, and Northcote, after that game against Papakura, I dare say, will be taking a lot of confidence coming off that win, mate, and you know, they'll be going into today's match, you know, I would say as favourites. Just having a look at the SAS Fox Memorial games that are on, kicking off at 2:30 around Auckland, and please, ladies and gentlemen, if you are out and about, not just the game of the round here being Te Atatu Mount Albert at Aquatechnics Stadium, I keep calling it the Aquatechnics Stadium, is the other matches that are on. The big clash that's at Birkenhead War Memorial will be the Northcote Tigers up against Mangere East Hawks. That will be a great game to be part of. Harold Moody, we see Richmond Bulldogs travelling out there to clash against the Glenora Bears. Here, the live stream match that we're doing, obviously, you know, the Mighty Roosters up against the Massive Lions, and if you're joining us, please, you know, share and like it on the social media pages. It is a free live stream brought to you by the Auckland Rugby League, and you can get that link on aucklandleague.co.nz, obviously the website there. Rounding off the piece of the last couple of games here, we've got Papakura Sea Eagles up against the Marist Saints, and that's at Prince Edward, so the Sea Eagles are playing at home. And Point Chevalier Pirates up against Howick Hornets, and that's going to be a massive game as well.
Yeah, doesn't that shape as a good one? Obviously Howick in some fantastic form to start the year, and the Pirates, well, they're always up there. Some interesting results over the last few weeks, and this competition, you know, I dare say a little bit closer than in some previous years already at this stage, Troy, so excellent to see those tight games. a couple of upsets already, which is really good to see. And we'll run you quickly through the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup, and again, some interesting results. Now, our live stream game last week, Troy, the Otahu Leopards versus the Otara Scorpions. Otahu getting up for the 20-12 victory there. John Ackland making it 2 from 2 to start the year. The Bay Roskill Vikings, last year's beaten grand finalists, of course, beaten by the Te Atatu Roosters to earn promotion. They got up 34-24 over local rivals the Newland Stags. Ellerslie just going down to Papatoetoe Panthers in a 22-20 thriller. And actually heard midweek, Troy, that Kieran Foran has been down with the Ellerslie Eagles a little bit, helping them out. Of course, Kieran's junior club, the Eagles, so a really nice thing that Kieran's done. Not much has been made of it because he's kept it pretty quiet, but he's been down there helping the boys out a little bit. And, you know, they obviously went through some hard times at the start of the year. They lost a few players and had a couple of big results go against them, so great to see Kieran down there helping the boys out. Moving on to other action in the second division, Sharman Cup, Ponsonby went down 28-16 to the Manurewa Marlins, who already look like probably being one of those teams that's going to be up there come the back end of the campaign in that top 4. A quick look at the ladder for the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup, and it's the Leopards on top, 4 points, 2 wins from 2, followed by the Bay Roskill Vikings, again 2 wins, 4 points, Newland Stags, Manurewa Marlins and Ponsonby Ponies following close behind, Papatoetoe Panthers, the other team on 2 points, and at the bottom, yet to get a result, the Otara Scorpions and Ellerslie Eagles. And now as the teams kind of go through their final warm-ups here, Troy, I guess, time to mention a couple of important people to this Te Atatu Roosters club who are doing a little bit tough lately, starting off with Steve Queedley, who you highlighted in your pre-match talk with Brian. Queeds, of course, been a little bit unwell of late, but a wonderful servant of this club. He's held pretty much every role at the club over the years, from being a premier player where he played with Dennis Williams in the very early days. He did a bit of coaching, and he's held pretty much every administrative role from chairman. He's now the president of the club. So, Steve, if you're watching today, you might even be down here. Big g'day to Steve, and hope you're doing well, champ. And the other one, Peter Nielsen, Troy, who has been involved with this team as a assistant coach to Revel Neal, of course, one of the Mangere East connection from back in the day. Peter had a little bit of open heart surgery earlier this year, doing it a little bit tough as well, but on the road to recovery there. So Peter, if you are watching, mate, we wish you all the best, and I know the Te Atatu boys send their regards and hope they have a big game for you today.
Yeah, no, I concur. You know, lots of love for both of those guys down here at the Te Atatu Roosters, and I know that Quid's had a lot of impact in bringing Revel Neal back this year, you know, and getting him involved in being the Prem coach for the Te Atatu Roosters. Just having a quick look at our Women in League, there is a couple of results that were played on Friday night, Corey. The Otahu Blues basically took it to the Mangere East Lady Hawks, and they won that game 64-10. Marist Saints played Te Atatu Ladies, and they went down. Marist Saints took that game out 52 points to 4. Yet to be played is the Manurewa Marlins Wahinis, and they go up against the Richmond Roses, and that's going to be a massive clash. They've got some really good personnel on both of those teams. So if you are out and about Mountford Park, there's a 2:30 kickoff down there. You know, get along and support the ladies and watch some fantastic football there. Also, on Friday night, the Manukau Magpies beat the Waitemata Seagulls, and that score was 38 points to 12. And the other match that's being played tomorrow, Corey, will be the Papakura Sisters up against the Point Chevalier Buccaneers, and that's at Prince Edward Park. Just having a quick look at the table, and obviously with some of those games to play. Sitting currently, the Manurewa Marlins are on top, the Wahinis. In second place is the Otahu Blues. Third is Richmond Roses. In fourth is Papakura Sisters. In fifth position on the table is Marist Saints. In sixth is Te Atatu Ladies. Seventh is Point Chevalier Buccaneers. In eighth is Manukau Magpies. At 9 is the Waitemata Seagulls, and in number 10 is the Mangere East Lady Hawks. And it would be fair to say that the young lady in the Mangere East Lady Hawks, she can hold a tune from the karaoke night that I obviously can't spell karaoke, and you highlighted that to everyone. Corey, thanks very much.
Yes, that's right. Do take a look on the Auckland Rugby League social media channels and the website. Some fantastic stuff the Auckland Rugby League are doing this year, having a little bit of fun in between our football action, and of course we are bringing you more action than ever before this year with all the live stream matches. We've done a couple of the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup matches already, now into the SAS Fox Memorial campaign. We're also going to be doing a Women in League Day later on in the year, as well as the SAS College Rugby League competition. Absolutely, as well. Yep. So Really exciting to be bringing you all of these games this year, and we hope you enjoy it. It's free. It's available anywhere in the year. It's anywhere in the world. It's the beauty of live streaming, I guess. You can tune in no matter where you are, and of course we do get viewers from everywhere. I think we had a couple from New York and a couple from Asia over the last week as well. So hello to you wherever you are watching. It's a beautiful day here in West Auckland as the teams go through their final little pieces of warm-up, and we've highlighted just a key kind of clash today, I guess, and it's in the halves for me, Troy. It's between the captain for the Te Atatu Roosters, Kyle Neal, and Trent Wallace as well, and you know, two really creative players, two guys that lead by example, I think. So going to be really interesting to see how they are able to perform. You know, we know that Mount Albert are going to look to target Neal in the halves. You know, they've made no secret of that during the week, and I'm sure Te Atatu will be doing the same as well. So a couple of other interesting little matchups. You know, that you look at the quality of the forward packs here. We've got Sala Falilua Malio, who came through the Kelston Boys High School system. He's going to come up against the likes of Dion Snell, who was the Auckland Rugby League Player of the Year in 2014. So lots of quality on display here, and the Roosters have done really well to put together a competitive team despite losing some really experienced campaigners last year. They lost Peter Mills, who played for the Junior Warriors and was a real classy presence in the centres. They've lost a couple of other boys as well. So going to be interesting to see how it plays out today, but I know the Roosters will be flying high on confidence, Troy, after getting that result last week, and Revel Neal spoke midweek about how much it eases, I guess, tensions heading into the second round if you get that win, just to get away from the bottom of the ladder. Yeah, and it'll give them a wee bit of headspace so that they can concentrate on playing, you know, attractive flowing football. And today they're going to need that because they're coming up against one of the gun teams in the SAS Fox, being Mount Albert, who have been warming up over on the far side. The final chat's taking place now for the Te Atatu Roosters on their home ground, and the referees have just given us a wee bit of a chirp on the whistle there as they're getting ready for the flip of the coin to find out which way we're kicking off. Look, just very quickly, Corey, just wanted to round off the bottom of the Sharman Cup Crown Lift Trucks Premiership. So we've talked to the championship piece of that, and just in regards to the plate, Hibiscus Coast Raiders are playing Waitemata Seagulls today. Pakuranga Jaguars are up against the Manukau Magpies, with East Coast Bays on the bye. And currently in the plate there, and I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, being SAS Sports and of course Crown Lift Trucks. Waitemata Seagulls are in pole position there in first place. East Coast Bays are sitting in second, Hibiscus Coast are third, and fourth are Manukau Magpies, and in fifth position are the Pakuranga Jaguars. So that's the update of all of our action around the Auckland Rugby League region as we get ready now for the game of the round, where Te Atatu are going to be kicking off against Mount Albert. Mount Albert are slowly now walking out onto the #1 ground. It's great to be here at the Aquatechnics Stadium, and big raps to all of their sponsors that are down here, Barfoot and Thompson, Placemakers New Lynn, who help support the Te Atatu Roosters in their drive for the 2017 season. So we've just heard the chant, the Roosters, they're ready. They've just finished their final chat, and Mount Albert are now addressing the Auckland Rugby League referees and linesmen as they're getting, you know, mouth guards checked and what have you. And just on that, if you're looking to be a referee, you know, male, female, adult, children, doesn't really matter. You know, lock onto our website, the www.aucklandleague.co.nz. We'd love to have more referees involved, and they've got a great social life down there as well too, Corey, and you probably end up with the best seat in the house being a referee for the action of what we know and love as Auckland Rugby League. Yeah, that's right. Fantastic way to stay involved. If your playing days are over, or you don't feel like getting smashed every weekend on the footy field, it's a great way to stay involved with the game. As we'll run you through the team list if you didn't join us earlier for the initial read. So starting with the home side, the Aquatechnics Te Atatu Roosters, and at the back, it's the Philippine international John Nicodemus. On the wings, Jerry Moore and Taylor Herbert. The centres are Edward Vau Molitalo and Cedric Suifua. The halves, Zensi Inu and the captain Kyle Neal. Up front, in the front row, Stuart Preuss is joined by Sala Falilua Malio and his little brother Johnny Falilua Malio in the #9 jersey. In the back row for the Roosters, Jeremy Thomas and Dylan Murray, and locking the scrum, Cale Johnson, and rounding up the bench for the Roosters, Daniel Friedman, Eric Golding, Paya Chu and Lucky Javier. And for the Glass Projects Mount Albert Lions, the away team today, of course, just a short trip down the motorway here in West Auckland. At the back, Cortez Talu. On the wings, Mark Graham and Jordan Tua. Chaz Brown and Corey Sita are your centres, with Henry Dunn and Trent Wallace in the halves. There is a change in the starting lineup, with Simone Makahili to start in the place of Andrew Bob. Marcus Fraser's the number 9 with Kitty Passini, the number 15, named as the 10 originally. The back row is Jared Tua and Dion Snell, and the number 13, Joseph Price. And the bench for the Mount Albert Lions, David Hardy, Tony Ulupoau, Andrew Bob and Rory Ropati, as we get ready for kickoff here, round 8 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Mount Albert Lions to kick away from the club end, and away we go down towards the left, and it's fielded by Inu. The Roosters, of course, coming off their first win since returning to the Fox, a 28-20 victory over the Mangere East Hawks. They had a draw earlier in the year against the Northcote Tigers, so sitting on 3 points, probably about where they would have hoped at this point of the campaign. And a really positive start for them as we head towards the halfway point of the 2017 season. So a couple of one-out stuff early to start this one before Neil shifts it off to Murray. Takes it up towards 35 out from the line. Brother to brother there, Johnny to Sala, Falileo Malio. Up to the 40-metre line now. Last tackle, Joseph Price holding on for as long as he can there. They switch it out to the left to Zensi Inu, who goes down. That's an awkward one which bounces up awkwardly, I think, for Chaz Brown, and it's going to be a knock-on. So that is a fantastic start for the Te Atatu Roosters. A horror start for the Mount Albert Lions. It was Jordan Tua who's put it down. Bit of an awkward bobbling ball there. Bounces up around the arm and spills. So Roosters will be delighted with that start. Now let's see what they can do with the ball. They're going to start this set about 25 metres off their own line.
Yeah, no, great way to kick the match off, and I dare say their head coach, Revel, will be quite happy with that as they get good position, Corey, as the scrum's getting ready to be set and the ball's about to be fed. Big shout out to our sick comms agent from Papua New Guinea, young Tale Anderson. We hope that you get well soon and look forward to seeing you back in the office.
So Inu now onto the ball, finds Morris on the inside, about 10 metres off the line. Falilu Amalio into dummy half, finds his brother again. So already seeing that combination between the brothers. It's a handy combo to have between the prop and the hooker. We highlighted earlier both products of the Kelston Boys High School first 13 as they shifted out wide. Inu hands on the ball now. Nicodemus runs it but tackled well by Corey Setor out on the right edge for Mount Albert. Inu comes back inside. Price carries forward, breaks the initial one, but Price manages to hold on and bring him down. Numbers out towards the right here.
Oh, he's bobbled it.
And a little bobble in the play of the ball. So Mount Albert survived. Good aggressive defence there, and they come up with the error. So Mount Albert passed the first test there, but some positive signs for the Te Atatu Roosters early. See they're playing with plenty of confidence. Happy to move the ball side to side, Troy. So
yeah,
a pretty good start for both teams. Both teams will take a lot of confidence out of what they achieved there in the first few minutes.
And I think the key to Te Atatu Roosters' success today will be able to maintain that pressure and, you know, sort of keep it fairly well applied. So let's see what their line speed's like for defending now and whether they can contain Mount Albert down here inside their 20.
So Marcus Fraser now goes for a little run. Out of dummy half, catches them napping a little bit. Nice quick play of the ball. My apologies, that was Jordan Tua, I think, with the carry there. Fraser in clearing the ruck now. So Mount Albert already making some really nice meters here as the Roosters just struggling to get back the 10. Mount Albert with a couple of quick play of the balls. Wallace is into dummy half and they get the penalty. That's what they wanted. So we see errors from both teams early in this match, which is going to put them under a little bit of early pressure. Chaz Brown now to kick for touch.
Yeah, you can hear the communication from the Lions. They're focusing on their process. You know, every team's about process now, Corey, but I think they had good ruck speed and they were putting them under pressure. Here they come again.
So Jared Tua now, the other of the Tua boys in this one. Jordan and Jared as Fraser shifts it out to Kitty Passini. Of course, he represented the Auckland representative side against New Zealand Māori a few years ago. Fraser now out of dummy half. Dummies first and then goes. Hands it off to Dunn. And they head down the right edge, and it's a powerful carry there from Sita, I think it is. They're not far off the line here. The Lions, they feed it out to Dunn. They're half to half. Wallace feeds it off to Tua. But so far the Te Atatu line up to task. Dunn rushes dummy half. Wallace now gets it on the short. Dribbles in a kick, a little bit of miscommunication at the back. Jerry Moore's ended up with it. And they're going to get a repeat set there, so the Roosters just maybe caught with a little bit of poor communication there between winger and fullback. Troy didn't look like they were too sure who was going for that one. I guess they survived in the fact they didn't concede a try, but it's an ideal result for the Mount Albert Lions, a really positive start for them with repeat sets as
Quick restart.
Kyle Neal gets us back underway. Ball bounces down, it's fielded by Cortez Talu, who makes some easy 10, 15, maybe even 20 metres there off the kick return. Done into dummy half. Come out to Dion Snell. He's a big, powerful runner as Snell, former Howick Hornet.
Attracted a few defenders in that tackle too, Corey.
Feed it out to Price now, and Price showing a little bit of playmaking. Dummies once, dummies twice, goes through. Price, he's got some footwork on him, and he's going to go over. That is a fantastic try to Joseph Price, and he took it to the line there. Troy almost looked a little bit like a 5'8" there with a little show, the go. Showed some good footwork there, but also awareness to know where the gaps were. And it's an excellent try to get us underway here. So the Mount Albert Lions will take the initial 4-0 lead here at Jack Colvin Park. And it's individual brilliance from Joseph Price, who has been a standout all year. I think he's been in the Kiwi League Central.com Team of the Week most weeks. A really strong performer. Played for the Junior Warriors previously, Joseph. And good to see him bringing that experience back to clubland.
No, it was a great try, showed good balance. He, had a fade and an in and out and was away. And I dare say by the end of tonight's festivities, that will be a 60-metre run as opposed to the 30, 40 metres that he gobbled up.
Yeah, that tends to be the case, doesn't it, Troy? But like when you go fishing. Mark Graham's going to attempt this conversion, the winger.
There'll be a wee bit of a chat on down there now about the Roosters not losing their cool, regather, come back, start again, try and build a wee bit of a base, and obviously, bit of focus around trying to mount some pressure on what we consider Mount Albert to be a pretty slick organisation in how they train and how they go about their business. Good communication too, just quietly. I think, Mount Albert certainly, Marcus is out there still talking to the troops. And the kick has been waved away. The score is 4-0, Mount Albert up, as Te Atatu now come back ready for the restart.
An interesting talking to Cody Walker, one of the coaches of this Glass Projects Mount Albert team. Very relaxed, I would say, pre-game. I think pretty confident with the way that his team performed against Richmond last week. He said it was a really tough encounter, probably tougher than most people will realise. So he's pretty happy with how his team's tracking so far. Of course, they are without a couple of their big names today, with Aiden Ackland required by the Junior Warriors and Nella Palavi, I believe, actually away at a wedding. He's been used a lot this year by the Warriors Intrust Super Premiership side. A fantastic player, I think also the reigning NZ Domestic Player of the Year as well. As the Lions now work it out up towards halfway, Fraser into dummy half, comes out towards the left. It's a nice shift, finds Tua. And boy, they've got some big forwards on the edges, in particular here, the Mount Albert Lions. Fraser goes back in field to Price, who takes it up towards halfway. And he's a real danger with his ability to pass and his footwork at the line, Joseph Price. Falilua Malio gets caught up in the tackle. Wallace now puts a nice little kick in over the top, but it's found grass and it's going to creep out. That's an excellent kick there from Trent Wallace. The ideal finish to a set after you score points. If you can't score another try, well, the next best result is to make the other team go 100 metres. So really professional set there from the Mount Albert Lions, and Wallace putting the icing on it there with a nice finish to that set.
If you've just joined us on the live stream, courtesy of our live stream partners CTAS, please like and share, get all the friends, families for both clubs, and also the Auckland Rugby League fans around the world. And, get involved, drop us a comment, tweet us. As much engagement as what we're looking for as possible, and encourage your team, here live today. So back to the action.
So the Roosters now working it out off their line. And the Roosters, they were super impressive in the Sharman Cup last year. Deserving winners in the end over the Bay Roskilde Vikings. We did highlight pre-match they lost a few experienced guys, most notably the other half, Kurt Neal, Kyle's brother, and also Peter Mills, who played a little bit of footy with the Junior Warriors and a really classy centre. He's also their goal kicker. As Neil gets the kick
Good
away,
cover.
and Graham fields it. And nice positioning there from Mark Graham, who now returns the kick. And he's a big body, Troy, probably one of the taller players on the park, the winger. Another of the Warriors' development products.
And a famous name to live up to too, just quietly.
Yes, that's right. As the Roosters now showing some good intent in the tackle there, some good line speed. Fraser shifts it out to the left, and Chaz Brown getting involved. They've got some size on the outside backs as well here, Mount Albert, so expect to see plenty of that today with the backs getting involved as Wallace now comes out towards the left, and Jared Tua takes it up towards halfway, or over halfway I should say, back to Wallace, who finds Price. Price with a little bit of footwork, and again, just
He's
that little
having a
change of
strong
direction,
day.
gets the offload away. He's found Wallace, who gets hit hard by Dylan Murray. He might think twice before taking it to the line next time, as Fraser now works the short side and done. They've found a little bit of space here. Graham back inside to Chaz Brown. Chaz Brown's got space. He's broken the initial tackle of Nicodemus, and he's in. And Chaz Brown adds the second try of the day for the Mount Albert Lions, and it was just a lovely interchange of passing. They went to the left. Good support plays on the inside, a well-worked play. And Troy, I think that one comes down to coaching, really, doesn't it? It looked like a sort of set piece there. They got a quick play of the ball. Found Te Atatu a little bit short, and then from there, Chaz Brown, too big, too strong.
Yeah, agree with you. I think Marcus took control of the situation there, had great vision. Looks like the left edge is going to be under a wee bit of pressure for the Te Atatu Roosters here. You know, they've gone in on that side now the last couple of times, so they'll be looking to tighten that up. Also want to give a big shout out to Arnie, hard-working member at the Mount Albert Lions there in the background. Thank you very much for your support this week, Arnie, and promoting the game. And a special mention to Russell Gordon, one of the major sponsors of the Mount Albert Lions, who has been involved with the Mount Albert team for many years now. And thank you for all the support that you've given the club down there. Okay, so as the kick is being addressed, the Te Atatu Roosters are getting having the chat with the trainers again, and I dare say there'll be a wee bit of conversation around there about needing to tighten up and to get a wee bit of communication happening and for their defence line, Corey.
Yeah, well, they haven't really had any ball since probably the first two sets of the game, so that'll be priority number one. Put in a good defensive set here as Graham strikes it. It's a low one from the sideline. He ends up coming off the post, so fair attempt there from Mark Graham, but no luck. So both tries unconverted, 8 points to 0. The Glass Projects Mount Albert Lions lead over the Aquatechnic Te Atatu Roosters here in round 8 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, brought to you live and free by the Auckland Rugby League.
As they get ready for the kickoff, Corey's going to tell you what our handle is for tweeting. What is that?
That's
don't
right.
know.
At Auckland League, if you are on Twitter, and also Instagram at Auckland League. You'll find us on Facebook under Auckland Rugby League. And some great stuff being done by the Auckland Rugby League this year with a little bit of entertainment stuff. We've got some nice videos on there. The women's karaoke with the ladies in league, some of the players from the local Auckland clubs, and also a couple of little Fast Five type segments with the Sharman Cup boys as well. So get on there, you find all the results and everything that's going on at the Auckland Rugby League, and we'll have a little
Great
update
tackle
for you at half-time as well from what's been going on around the grounds as Mount Albert now work it up towards halfway. And again, it's Joseph Price, and it's
He's
the
having a
footwork
big day.
again.
He's having a big day.
Frees the offload, finds Talu, but dragged down just short, and he's clearly the danger man here as Marcus Fraser jumps out of dummy half, catches him offside. Back-to-back sets coming up for the Lions, and the Roosters, boy, they need a defensive stop here. They're under plenty of pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation going on there with the Mount Albert Lions. Their ruck speed's starting to pick up, and they're certainly putting the Te Atatu boys under pressure. Marcus is in there again, probing at the dummy half, waiting for the call, and they're shifting it to the right edge.
Fraser comes out towards the right, Makahili with the carry down towards the left edge. Fraser now works it back towards the 6, done to Wallace. Plenty of half-to-half play going on here. Chaz Brown, he's isolated here. They might struggle to stop him. Offloads, finds Mark Graham, and that is a beautiful try, Mount Albert Lions. Once again, finding luck down their left edge. And just the big body that is Chaz Brown, he's able to break that first tackle, promote the ball, and from there, Mark Graham finishes nicely. And we saw Mark Graham really star earlier in the year at the Sports Safe ARL 9s. He was one of the better players for the Lions in that tournament. He's a real talent, signed to the Warriors at 16 years of age, and we know that doesn't happen for no reason. So nicely finished there by Mark, and well, Chaz Brown, no slouch himself. He's played for the New Zealand universities. I believe also featured on the inaugural season of the NRL Rookie. He tried out there. I dare say, from my experience with Chaz, he would have enjoyed his 5 minutes in the limelight there. Doesn't mind the camera, does Chaz? As Mark Graham lines up his second kick from the sideline. The one a few minutes ago came off the upright. See if he can make the adjustment here.
And as many points as many minutes that have just gone, Corey. You know, and they need to slow this run rate down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day at the office for the Aquatech Te Atatu Roosters team, as they get ready now to have another team chat as the kick is being addressed for conversion at goal. As Corey said, Mark Graham's lining up now. This is his third attempt. And as many tries. Just having a quick look on our scoreboard.
Looking into the sun a little bit here, Mark, but he did have the kick literally from the same blade of grass a few minutes earlier. And this one will go the opposite side, pushes it out towards the right. He's not happy about it, Graham. But it is the Glass Projects Mount Albert Lions who lead 12 points to 0 over the Aquatech Te Atatu Roosters here at Jack Colvin Park, with the Roosters heading back to halfway now to get us back underway.
What a great day for rugby league too, Corey. The weather's shining. Tuck Shop's open, so if you are wanting to come down and have some grouse entertainment, come and join us at the Aquatech Stadium, Jack Colvin Park, the home of the Te Atatu Roosters. And I'm to understand the bar will be open up there selling some refreshments and green tea as well. Come and join us for some live action. Back to the game.
So Inu gets us back underway with a long kick, which is allowed to bounce. This could be trouble here for the Lions. I think it's Passini that has cleaned it up in the end. So a little bit of danger there, but cleaned up eventually.
Good crowd starting to form down here too, Corey, around the perimeter of the grounds, and there's plenty of seating area here at the park with all the new developments that have taken place at the home ground of the Roosters. Mount Albert on the attack again. Good strong carry.
Yeah, and very nice to be standing here today on what I believe is named the Dennis Williams stand, after Te Atatu Roosters' finest. Of course, those of you who have been league fans for a while will know Dennis, famed in Kiwi League circles, debuted for the Kiwis, I think it was at 18 years of age, maybe even on his birthday, I think, Dennis.
He might have actually been younger, yeah.
Recently inducted into the Auckland Rugby League Hall of Fame as well, so a fantastic player who still gets down to support that. And as we see, back to the action, and we've had an error. So we're going to pack down a scrum right on halfway here.
And just as they do that, I'm going to ask the cameraman if he can see me or hear me, the young cameraman. Can we do a quick pan just up to the guys in the black shirts up there in the front of the tuck shop area? Okay, they're well known around the world, and there'll be a lot of people around the grounds just wanting to say hello to them and to see them. Thanks for that very quickly. Back to the main action. Te Atatu with the ball, running it into the Lions half.
Murray now carries forward. Made the team of the week last week for his excellent showing against Mangere East. Falilua Malio hands it off to his brother. It's a good strong carry from Sala. Up to 40 metres out from the line. Johnny into dummy half. Finds Preuss.
Good run.
And again, a little bit of footwork at the line. Just holds the initial defender off. Takes it up to about 25 metres out from the line. Sala Falilua Malio with another big carry forward up towards the sticks, and they're going to get the penalty. So a good result for the Roosters.
That's good, just slowing down a wee bit of the Lions' momentum there. Te Atatu with a quick play of the ball.
Yeah, and Preuss goes very close off the tap. They are set out towards the right here. Lucky Javier lining up for a run. They're going to miss him out and go backdoor, and it finds Neil, who thinks about going again, decides against it and heads back infield. Tackled about 5 metres off the line. Falilua Malio into dummy half. Spreads it out to Inu. Inu finds Sala. Breaks the first one. Eventually taken down in a three-man tackle. They're not far from the line here, the Roosters. Inu now gets it on the left. Misses one out. Finds Nicodemus. Dion Snell tackles him well out there on the left edge. Back in they come. Inu to Neil. Who
Great
throws
ball.
the cutout. Nice little ball there. Finds Edward Vaiu Molilal. And there were appeals for a try initially, but it's going to be a spilt ball, so the Lions hold on. Good defence there, but again, nice to see a bit of variety in the Te Atatu Roosters attack there. Not afraid to throw the ball around. They're not resorting to one-out stuff, which can happen when you haven't had a bit of ball. You can, I guess, a little bit of fatigue creeps in and you lose a bit of that creativity. So we're going to pack a scrum down now. It looks like the referee might have a quick chat with his linesman. Something's gone on there.
And it's good to see Te Atatu control the ball for a set there. And they obviously managed to, get down and apply a bit of pressure there, Corey. So that was great to see.
Now we have had a late turnover of the call, and it is going to be a Te Atatu Roosters try. So we were all ready to pack the scrum down there. The referee was standing at the scrum. It's been overturned late. And we do have a try there, and I believe the try scorer was Edward Vaiu Malilau. So the Roosters on the board, and we could have a 6-point ball game coming up. Cale Johnson's going to attempt the conversion from just to the right to the right of the sticks.
And just as he does that, Corey, anyone that is at any of the other SAS Fox games today, looking for a few results, if you could either text them or message us on the Auckland or Rugby League Facebook page, we'd like to be able to update some of the viewers here on the live stream being brought to you by the Auckland Rugby League.
So Johnson now to attempt this conversion. Made a little bit of history with his dad last week, took the field with his dad against the Mangere East Hawks. And I dare say you won't see that too often in this day and age. Troy, father and son, taking the field at this level. Incredible.
No, it's a fantastic memory that they'll both will share and cherish. Great kick, got the 2 points.
And all of a sudden we are back to a 6-point ball game. So the Glass Projects Mount Albert Lions lead the Aquatechnics Te Atatu Roosters 12 points to 6. And really against the run of play, the Roosters have hit back. It was a confusing one. We initially went back for a scrum after the referee thought he'd found a knock-on. Discussion with his linesman, then found that it had been a try, so we got the correct calling in the end. Although the Mount Albert Lions may disagree. And the Te Atatu Roosters on the board here at Jack Colvin Park. Round 8, SAS Fox Memorial Premiership action brought to you live by the Auckland Rugby League.
Good dart from the dummy half there. There's an appeal.
Falilua Malio out of dummy half there. Looked like he might have caught them
on the collar.
Inside the 10, slow to his feet. But Inu shifts it out towards the left. Cedric Suifua, who was met in a 3-man tackle from the Lions. And they're going to have got him into touch. So excellent, desperate defence there from the Lions up on halfway. They get there in numbers and force him over the sideline. And the perfect response after conceding points on that last set.
Just as the scrum is being addressed, big shout out to Johnny McEwen. Johnny Mack's back. He's our match manager today down here for the game of the round, and it's good to see him back out on the footy field officiating today. Good, hard, strong carry there by the Mount Albert player. Communication starting to ramp up. Looks like we've got a few reserves on now. Corey Ropati onto the ball.
Yeah, Rory Ropati onto the field, and there's his welcome to the game. He's hitting a big tackle from Lucky Javier.
I better not start calling you Rory then.
Joseph Price now on the ball, and again gets that offload away, and that's his 4th or 5th offload in this match already. Has started the match on fire. Joseph Price scored the opening try. This is a slow play of the ball there as the Roosters doing their very best to slow things down a little bit. Nice carry forward there from Tony Ulupuao. And I was warned to get the pronunciation of his name right pre-match. He told me in no uncertain terms that he would like me to get his name right. So Tony, I hope I've done that, mate, and continue to throughout the match as we see what looks like is going to be a try, and it is indeed. Corey Sita has gone over out there on the right edge and take advantage of, I guess, the Te Atatu Roosters' error up on halfway when the Lions were able to force them into touch. And the Lions take full advantage, go down the other end of the field and score their 4th try through Corey Sita. Corey, a former Marist Saints player, has also represented the Akarana Falcons as well. One of the 2 teams competing in the NZRL National Premiership here from Auckland, along with Counties Manukau, and we see a few Counties reps out there as well. Dion Snell previously represented the Stingrays, and Joseph Price as well, I think.
Well, Mount Albert's starting to shift it from side to side now. They've cracked in on the other edge and put the ball across the try line. So they'll be looking to maintain that momentum and, you know, keep the accelerator down. Te Atatu, what do you think the chat's happening on down there, Corey?
I think limiting the errors is going to be the first one for the Roosters. You know, the Lions are making them pay for those. So it'll just be getting the ball and keeping the ball. They trail in the
Complete
possession
their
count
six.
right now. So
Yep.
just, yeah, completing the sets, but also trying to restrict this yardage that the Lions are able to make, because the Lions are starting their sets in a lot better positioning than the Roosters at this stage. As Te Atatu prepare to get us back underway as we approach the final 20 minutes or so of this first half here in the round 8 SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match between the Aquatechnics Te Atatu Roosters and Glass Projects Mount Albert Lions. And a false start there as Inu goes to strike the ball, but it falls off the tee. So we will go back and try that one again. And interesting to see the dynamic here with a little bit of fresh blood on the field. Rory Ropati, you mentioned. Onto the park now. Plenty of big boys in this Mount Albert Lions team. Let's see what the Roosters can do here. They really need to restrict that yardage. Dominate these tackles here, and a big carry forward. Met in a strong tackle, nonetheless, by Cedric Suifua. Snell shows and then goes. Legs did come up a little bit
There's an appeal
but
there.
no problem. Didn't go up above the horizontal, which is the rule in rugby league, of course, to
Great break.
protect player safety. And again, it's Joseph Price with a nice play. Tries to get the quick play. The ball earns his side the penalty. And Joseph Price, boy, he hasn't put a foot wrong so far. He has been excellent, the number 13.
Been a strike weapon. Every time he's touched the ball, he's looked dangerous. And if he's not doing the damage, he's basically creating the space for somebody outside him to finish it off.
So Chaz Brown will kick from for touch, and
kick.
it has,
That's gone backwards.
and it's going to feel way backwards. Troy, will be fair to say. I
He'll
think.
be having to put a shout in for the boys. Hey, they'll be talking about that on Tuesday at training.
So perhaps wishing they had just taken the quick tap there, the Mount Albert Lions, and Chaz perhaps wishing that one wasn't on the TV cameras. Sure, he'll get a little bit of stick for that midweek, but Joseph Price now takes the ball forward, 40 metres out from the line. Marcus Fraser, the captain, into dummy half. Feeds it up the back to Wallace.
Looks like a set play.
Taualau getting involved from the back, takes it to the line, almost breaks through, but in the end, well tackled. Back towards the middle now, Tua hands it off to Ropati. Preuss hits him and a nice tackle. Up
Step
around
right
the
into
upper
the cover
body,
defence,
Fraser out of dummy half finds Wallace, misses out. The initial target, who was Snell.
Bit sloppy.
As you mentioned, Troy, a little bit sloppy there. It's been unlike Mount Albert in this game. They've finished their sets really well so far, which gives the Roosters a chance now, and Preuss gets the offload away to Neil. And now a nice little run out of dummy half from John Nicodemus.
Trying to get a bit of momentum on.
Nice to have an international on the park here today. Of course, John represented the Philippines last year, along with his brothers, I believe, as well. Not too sure of their names, but did read about that. So awesome to see a couple of boys from the Auckland comp representing their heritage. And the Philippines, a team that's really starting to grow, getting a lot more fixtures in the international scene as the Roosters spread the ball out towards the left. And they've got a little bit of space here. And the flat man, Nicodemus, takes it up and is dumped heavily on his back. Inu into dummy half. There's space out to the right if they can get it. Sloppy ball initially. Neil.
Ran into a big shoulder there and he's bobbled it.
And they just lost their way a little bit there, the Te Atatu Roosters. They've done well to create space down the left, but then a couple of sloppy passes just threw everyone off a little bit. And now they're under fire again as Mount Albert work it up towards halfway. Nice carry forward there from Graham. Back to Tua. And it's relentless in terms of the big boys this Mount Albert team throw at you.
They had 4 defenders in there, so they better get their shape quick, smart, and get back into the line.
Done into dummy half. Hands it off to Ulu Pau'au. Edge up towards 40 metres out from the line. Dunn pushes Rapati out of the way at dummy half. A good line speed from Te Atatu. Plenty of talk going on in regards to that line speed. Push up. Let's get there and try and meet these boys head on now as they work the right side. And it's a lovely interchange of passing again. And it's going to put Dion Snell over for a try. But that's just beautiful ball playing there from Mount Albert. It started with Snell, went out to I think it was his winger, and then came back infield. And in the end, just too many numbers for the Te Atatu Roosters. A really skillful play there from the Mount Albert Lions. And that will extend the lead here. And Te Atatu, well, they need to put a stop to this and fast. We've got 10 minutes to go in this first half, and already they're facing a pretty significant scoreline.
Yeah, I think Buzz will be happy with that, mate. It's not often he'll get an easier try, and Dion putting one across the line. He'll be more than pleased with putting a few points on the board for the Mount Albert Lions. Looks like we've got a few of the young Roosters coming in the background behind us, and they're going to be good boys and keep their noise down as we're beaming live at the commencement of the kick. And we're looking at the score, just having a 22-6 is what's on the board with the kick to come. And I dare say that Mount Albert will be happy with where they're at this point in time, Corey.
Yeah, well, they've taken almost every opportunity they've got down that end of the field. A really nice try there as the kick goes away again, and I think we've only seen maybe one successful kick from the Lions, so the scoreline could be even bigger. So the Roosters trailing 22 points to 6 as we approach the final 10 minutes of this half.
I think too the positive piece I got to take out of it was when Te Atatu contain the ball and hold it for 6, complete their sets. They're actually mounting a wee bit of momentum. They're getting up there. They're actually doing something with it. But they've got to keep that going. They've got to keep the ball in hand.
Yeah, that's right, Troy. They're not playing badly at all, the Roosters. It's just simply that the Lions are getting a ball in good positions and taking advantage of it. So if they can hold on to that footy and keep the ball for a little bit, we'll see what happens. But that is not going to help because that is a kick out on the full, I believe, which means the Lions will start with a penalty on halfway.
I've just given them the kiss of death, as I was saying.
Yeah, and just a quick look over to Revel Neal there, an absolute coach killer, that one. The kick out on the full. It's going to put them under a whole lot of pressure again as Henry Dunn prepares kick for touch on halfway.
Don't think he's found it.
And he
Great
hasn't,
catch.
so once again, another coach killer fails to find touch. It's fielded by Vaiu Molitalo. Takes it up towards the 40. Now the 14 is onto the park, Daniel Friedman. The 30-year-old come across from the Newland Stags. And another of the interchange men met in big contact there was Eric Golding.
That's me feeling his pain.
Yeah, some big hits starting to come out here as the Roosters try and spread but come up with the error. So not able to take advantage of the Mount Albert error when they failed to find touch there. They come up with a drop ball on halfway.
As we're getting ready, like we said earlier in the broadcast, if you do have some results, please message Facebook through or send us a text. Let us know what the scores are around the traps for the games that are being played in the SAS Fox today. Mount Albert back on the attack.
So turns it inside to Tua, who's met by Golding and finished off by Inu.
Strong, he stayed on his feet, quick play the ball. Another hard carry.
Yeah, really nice carry there from Andrew Bob. Played us some footy with the Howell Hornets and the Fox over the last few years. Back with Mount Albert, which was, of course, his junior club. Now a nice little bit of footwork out of dummy half there.
Yeah, they just seem to be rolling
David
straight
Hardy.
up the centre here, Corey.
Wallace into dummy half. And they lined up heavily out towards the right. Finds Dunn, who misses. Dion Snell on a short ball. Talal gets it into some space. Footwork out there on the far wing from Jordan Tua. But Te Atatu scramble to recover. Huge set here for the Roosters. They have to hold them out, you would think. Dunn now gets the ball. Floats a little kick over the top. Inu shadowing it, and it is going to go dead. So the Roosters survive. It's some good defence there from the home side to keep them out there. Mount Albert threw plenty at them, particularly down that right edge now as we get the quick tap, and they're away. And Tua, good tackle around the legs, drives them low. Rapati over the top.
Yeah, a bit of frustration in here coming from the field. Good wrestle there, good play the ball. Te Atatu on a roll again.
And
Good run from the dummy.
A bit of spark bought from Friedman, and in fact he earns his team the penalty there, catches Andrew Bob offside. So he's brought some nice energy to this match since coming on as Daniel Friedman.
Aquatechnic Roosters trying to up tempo a little bit, change the pace of things.
And we're getting into the final sort of 5 minutes of this half. And we know traditionally points here can be really valuable in terms of team morale, and the Roosters desperately need some of that now as Javier takes it forward and draws in 3 defenders. Rapati working hard to wrap up the ball, making sure there's no second phase. Friedman into dummy half. Friedman comes right, they find Neil. Turns it back inside to Golding. And Golding goes in his men in a huge tackle led by Dion Snell. Friedman comes out towards the left. Inu. They've got space out here on the left if they can get there.
Waiting for the ref's call on that, held up.
Yeah, they got there in numbers. Excellent defence from the Mount Albert Lions. Boy, that was a big shot we saw from Dion Snell there. Inu on the ball, back towards the middle. As they look to get back to a set play to win this set. Paiachu with a nice carry. Friedman dummies right, goes left. Inu with the ball, dribbles it through. It's touched a Mount Albert player. It'll be play on. It would have been 6 again if they'd regathered there, the Te Atatu Roosters. But a good heads-up play from the Lions as we approach the final few minutes of this half. Tua with a nice carry. Appeals for a penalty there from Mount Albert. Nothing forthcoming at this stage. Snell. Met front on by Falilua Malio. And right now, this Mount Albert team just making yardage a little too easily in the middle of the park. Imagine that's going to be an error that Coach Revel Neal is going to highlight at the half-time break, just trying, it's easier said than done, but to limit some of the yardage these big boys are making from Mount Albert as they shift out towards the left. Tua now quick hands. Brown isolates Graham, and Graham's into a little bit of space. Breaks the initial cover tackle from Johnson, and now he's still going. Finds the offload, and Jordan Tua's going to have a free run to the line. And it is going to be a try, so Jordan Tua adds another try for the visitors, the Mount Albert Lions, and it was just the second phase. They scrambled pretty well, Te Atatu, but in the end just ran out of numbers. Nice play again, and not surprising to see Mount Albert target this left edge again, Troy, where they have had plenty of success. That'll be, I would think, their 3rd or 4th try that started down this left corridor, and Chaz Brown's doing some really good work. We saw some nice skill there from Mark Graham as well. The interchange of passing again, just catching Te Atatu off guard.
There's a lot of energy in the halfway point here, at the halfway line. You could see a lot of the communication between the Mount Albert Lions. There was a lot of pointing. They were aiming at where they were wanting, what player they were wanting to run at, what hole they were wanting to run at. And out there on that left edge, you know, even the defenders that were the Roosters players that held off or went high, you could see that they already knew as the players brushed through that, you know, there wasn't enough intent in the tackle to put them to ground. So they'll be looking forward to the halftime break, I'm sure. You know, trying to address some of the leakage out here on this edge. For as far as Mount Albert's concerned, they'll be wanting to obviously keep the memento up and, you know, maintain what they've been doing in the first half.
Interesting you mentioned about, I guess, the structures and the game plan of this Mount Albert side. You wonder how much of it comes down to the fact that they are co-coached by Cody Walker, who, you know, recently was a half in this competition, one of the top players, as Chaz Brown adds the extras to make it 28 points to 6 as the final few minutes approach. But just back to the earlier point, I guess, you know, Cody Walker has a strong understanding of how Fox football is played these days, you know, playing a lot of years for Mount Albert. Interesting to see the different game plans, I guess, and of course co-coached with Phil Gordon, who won the national title with Kelston, won a couple of Auckland titles as well, so plenty of pedigree in the coaching ranks, and also Revel Neal, vastly experienced, won a number of junior titles with the Newland Stags, and of course led the Roosters to Sharman Cup glory last year to earn their spot here in the top flight. So Mount Albert get us back underway, and there's only a few sets left in this match. And the Roosters, boy, they could really do with some points before the break. At the very least, they can't afford to concede again at 28 points to 6.
The key focus here is to keep them out and have good defence line, get up, contain the attack, and don't get another one in before the halftime break.
Tua now comes down the left. targets Neil once again down that left edge. Falido Amalio involved in the tackle. Wallace goes, he's gone straight through here. Wallace, he's only got the fullback to beat. Talau is looming in support. And they made it look easy there, the Mount Albert Lions.
I see a great pass, a great dummy as he opened them up like a can of spaghetti and just went straight through.
Yeah, dummy's so good it even fooled you, Troy.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as we were only saying a few moments ago, that was not what the Te Atatu Roosters needed to have just before the half-time break. So, you know, just looking at the body language now down there behind the Roosters, and we've got a few people here from the younger Roosters team. You guys got to be quiet because we're talking, okay? As the senior side down there will be obviously wanting to get back into the halftime chat with a few of their strategies being put back into place, Corey. And yeah, you can just see by the body language down there, it's looking like a tough day at the office, mate.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a deflating one there for the Roosters at 28-6. You know, it wasn't looking great, but I think that one there, and just probably the ease that Mount Albert were able to get over the line, will be really disappointing for the Roosters. So, but hey, rugby league's a funny game, anything can happen. And I dare say there'll be a few harsh words being spoken behind the end goal there, a few hard truths for the Roosters as Chaz Brown lines this kick up from in front of the posts. And the flags go up, which makes it 34 points to 6. And that'll just about do us for the first half here of this round 8 clash in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. So we have the Glass Projects, Mount Albert Lions leading the Aquatechnics, Te Atatu Roosters 34 points to 6 here at the half-time break.
Everyone out.
And going to be really interesting to see how the Roosters come out in the second half. We mentioned they would have come into this game with a lot of confidence, Troy, following a good win, but I dare say you know, that will have been a bit of a wake-up call for the Roosters. They really hadn't played that badly in that half. It was just that Mount Albert were really good when they got their opportunities, and the Roosters perhaps a little bit guilty of a few clumsy errors.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And I think you know, coming into the half-time break, they'll know what's going wrong out there, and Rev will be not just you know, trying to give them instruction, but give them encouragement. I think if they hold the ball for the 6 like we talked about earlier in the first half, they can certainly mount a wee bit of pressure and try and change the momentum the way the game's been going. Yep. In regards to Mount Albert, they're all taking a knee down there at the moment as well, and I dare say that, you know, the 2 coaches that you talked about, they'll be wanting to apply the same sort of pressure that they've had in the first 40. And, you know, I think they'll be quite happy with their execution at this point. They've only had a couple of sloppy moments, but Te Atatu at this point really need to harden up on the defence side of things and to carry the ball for the complete set of 6. What we're going to try and do is have a look at our cameraman from CTS in the back, as we're going to get ready now to have the halftime ARL report. And we'll catch up with Talo, who's away sick today. The young Papua New Guinean girl who works for us up there at the office. And if you are watching any of the other major games around the SAS Fox matches that have been played in the Auckland region, please text us or send through the updates and some of the other clashes that are taking place this afternoon. We're just waiting for our young man on the switchboard down here. Oh, and there's a famous person. Here we go.
Welcome to the ARL halftime report. We are coming live to you from the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, Te Atatu versus Mount Albert game of the round. We had some big results last week in the Fox Memorial, which saw Te Atatu get their first win over Mangere East at Automati Park. The Root Rooster also has a new home out west. As we approach the second round of the competition, each club will host a live stream match. So make sure you like, share the live stream link to support your club with your friends and family. If you've missed out on a couple of our live stream matches, you can go to our YouTube channel at Auckland League and replay them there. And our main issue of Grassroots is coming out this week online, so head to our website at www.aucklandleague.co.nz to read all about this month's news. Last week we launched our ARL 40 files where you saw our women in the league give us their favourite karaoke song. It got 36,000 hits and was watched over 10,000 times. This week we have the Crown of Trucks Shaman Cup captains telling us who they think is the sexiest man in the competition. Go to our Facebook page, have a like, share, and find out what they have to say. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, on Sunday we have our Under-10s Gala Day at the Manukau Rugby League Club, and our Auckland Women's Dolphins team are also having their first trial game at Cornwall Park. Up next we have our SA Fox Memorial Premiership captain tell us who they think are the gun teams in the Fox.
Who's the gun team to watch out for this year in Fox? Probably Health.
Who will be the gun team to watch out for this year in the Fox? I'd have to say us, new team in Fox. Yeah, I don't know. People might see what they get. Yeah,
Point Ship. 100% Point Ship, and I heard they had a good training and they've got a few players, so it'll be very interesting.
Not good. And yeah.
Point Ship.
The gun team to watch out for Fox this year will probably be the Saints.
Who will be the gun team to watch out this year in Fox is, I guess, Mount Albert Point Shep are always the pinnacle of the Fox, so I'm really looking forward to playing them, and sort of brings out the best in myself and my team, so yeah, we're looking forward to playing some of those top teams.
We're back. Tough competition this year. Te Atatu coming in, I think they'll be unknown. So, I think Te Atatu is unknown to the competition, so looking forward to see what they can bring. But other than that, we still have Mount Albert and Chev, Papakura still up there, and yeah, Mangere will be one team to look out for as well.